disease. Two fairly close to me who have been going through chemotherapy. We just recently had the lieutenant governor from the state of Maryland, and the governor of Maryland has cancer, and he's been going through chemotherapy treatments, and he talked about how devastating those treatments were. So you obviously don't treat with chemo. Why is it wrong for a cancer patient to be treated with chemotherapy?
Chemotherapy is an approach that destroys cells. Chemotherapy doesn't distinguish between good cells and bad cells. It destroys cells. It's an acid approach.
What kind of approach?
Acid.
Oh, acid approach, okay.
My approach is an intracellular cleansing. What causes disease in the first place? An acid condition. Well, let us sweep it out. Let us find the plants that are consistent with cleansing. You see, we just begin to wake up. We just begin to realize that we are way in a deep deficit.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean that we have never spent time in analyzing or even trying to understand the difference in our genetic predisposition. We have never understood the science of biochemistry. All of the folks that have came to us, they came to us with history, bunch of history, a lot of religion, a lot of philosophy, but none of them came with a food that would help me to live as healthy as I possibly can. Look carefully. We're not going to make excuses no more. Because if we continue to make excuses, we're going to go deeper into the deficit. Just recently, a report came out that the Christian diet need to be examined, re-examined. Because in the Christian diet, you have people eating hog, potatoes, rice, and beans. But if we take this substance to a biochemist, he's not going to find any food in any of these substances. So why do we eat these things? Then we get sick. I always use that black woman in the jungle. For some reason, she keeps showing up. This black woman in the jungle keeps showing up as setting the standards and raising the bar. Why?
Tell me what you refer to when you say this black woman in the jungle.
Oh, I mean, this woman was the woman that set the standards. This woman didn't die because of disease. She didn't have any hospitals in the jungle. She didn't have any doctors. She didn't have any medicine. That's why Hippocrates said that your medicine should be your food, or your food should be your medicine. Because the African people didn't have a doctor. They didn't need him. Because they didn't have any of the substance that would violate the biology of the individual. So how long did they live? Do you and I know how long those Africans lived in the forests of Africa before the chemical people came? Furthermore, my mama wasn't naked. She was natural. Because to say that my mama was naked in the forest is to say that God made clothes. Me and my crazy self, I went to South Africa under the leadership of Mr. Nelson Mandela. I said, well, I went to the Board of Health. I said, this is what I have done. And I showed them all my documents and diagnostic sheets. AIDS is devastating South Africa. So I thought that because I could do this job, that I would be received with love. That's all I wanted, love, right? Understood. Mandela said, get out of here. Nelson Mandela, wait. Another one. We got the last $200. When I got to the supermarket, on my way out of the cash register, somebody in line in the back said, Dr. Sebi, I want to thank you for curing my husband. I said, ma'am, I have not cured anyone in St. Croix. No, you cured him in Dominica. He was blind. I said, wait. The only blind man that I have ever treated and cured, he's in Los Angeles, Mr. Fredericks. He said, no, you cured my husband. I said, but how could I cure your husband? He was blind and I didn't know it.
Yeah.
She said, the policeman that used to come and pick up the remedies and take to my husband didn't tell you what he had. My husband was blind for 11 years. So you're asking me, how could I cure a blind man without seeing him?
Yeah.
Well, let me say this. The philosophy of Europe claimed that when you're blind, something wrong with your eyes. The philosophy of Africa says, or the understanding of Africa is, not so. When you're blind, something is wrong with your stomach, your intestines.
Mm-hmm. So
you clean the intestines, your eyes begin to clear up. This is a science that is unknown